Okay, so I'm going to go quickly through the things today, the poems. What I want you to do, if you notice here, I want you to do exercises 1 through 4, except for tell the truth 1 through 3, but basically 1 through 4 on each one. So there's not a lot of work to do, but I still want to go through this on this. You can click Jamboard and it has all the poems there, and this is just the poems, so that you can answer the questions. Do this on. Well, I mean, questions on a PDF. The questions are on a PDF. You'll have to probably do it on. You have to do it on a Google Doc, and make sure you just submit that, and make sure I have access. Okay, that's not it. Oh, was it? Okay, so where's the? There it is. And again, I'm going to give you kind of a nutshell what's going on, and then we'll do that. So the soul selects her own society, then shuts the door on her divine majority. Present no more. Unmoved, she notes the chariots pausing at her low gate. Unmoved, an emperor is kneeling upon her mat. I've known her from an ample nation choose one, then close the valves of her attention like stone. So there's a few things going on with this, and a lot of it is pretty much she's kind of talking about herself. Remember, she's kind of a recluse, and so we want to just in that reclusive nature, she's we all have a soul. I want you to pay attention to pretty much nation and attention. That's a rhyme scheme, believe it or not, and it's called slant rhyme. Where they almost rhyme, but they're not an exact rhyme. It's interesting here. She's really talking about when the editors went through this, they actually gave it a title, and the title was called Exclude or something like that, and because she basically excluded everyone, and but that's not true. If you look at the bottom of the stanza, she chose one person, so she didn't want to change that title. She didn't put titles on her poem. Remember I told you that when we used the first line. So putting a title on it was definitely not this thing, but not the greatest thing in the world. What's cool about this is that in this seclusion that she has for herself, she does pick and choose. I think it's interesting that she chose something of her divine majority. What is divine majority? And it's from her divine majority. She closes them out. Well, majority could mean king or queen, or it could be majority like we define it. We define it as a numbers thing, a lot of people. So I like to do that part just because I bring it into the 21st century, but sometimes majority doesn't mean just that. So the questions that I gave you for that is probably pretty simple, so that should be pretty easy for you to answer. Really, it's about her choosing and not choosing, and I think that's something that you guys should know. The second one, and we'll go over the actual answers later. I'm just trying to give you some things. This one is all about her love life. All right, so did she love? Yes, she did love. Yes, she was secluded. She never did marry. But if you were coming in the fall, I'd brush the summer by with half a smile and half a spurn, as housewives do a fly. If I could see you in a year, I'd wind the months in balls and put them each in separate drawers for fear the numbers fuse. So, and that's actually a change there. This is an editorial change, so it's not that for fear the number fuses. Well, actually, okay, yeah, it is. This is the right one. There was one down here that the editors changed and it didn't make it into this copy. It shouldn't be taste eternity, but we'll get to that in a minute. If only centuries delayed, I'd count them on my hand, subtracting till my fingers dropped until Van Diemen's Land. So this is all about hope that her lover is going to return. So I'll count the centuries if that was the case. I'll just count. The metaphor about half a smile and half a spurn, as housewives do a fly. She just wants to get rid of summer. If she knew that If she knew the lover was coming in October, she'll just wipe out those months and go right there. Just brush it off and skip to October. Pretty easy, right? So if certain when this life was out that yours and mine should be, I toss it yonder like a rind and taste eternity. So the rind is like a watermelon rind, right? We don't use it. Well, we don't eat it. I mean, it's not good. Think about that. So, but what's really cool about this is that her version of this says, and take eternity. I'll take eternity. So if certain that when I die, or that when I die, that I know I'd be with you, I'll take eternity. So that's kind of scary in a way, because she's really saying, hey, I'm willing to die if I know that I'm going to be with you. Which, again, that's scary. It's not what her intentions are, but she's just making that as a metaphor, as saying, this is what I'm willing to do. But then here's this frustration. She's got all this hope that he's going to return, and here's the frustration. But now, uncertain of length of this that is between, it goads me like the goblin bee that would not state its sting. Nobody likes to be stung. Her thinking about him returning is like that stinging always. And she's just like, I'm frustrated he's not returned yet. Goblin bee, I don't know why, critics really don't know why she chose goblin bee. You know, goblin, you think what it is, just like an evil thing or something like that. We reference it in Halloween and things like that, or in fairy tales and things that are just not good creatures, goblins. I mean, that could be it, but it's just there. But we know that the sting, filled with, not poison, but I was thinking poison, venom, all right, is not a good thing. So that's part of her frustration. So I'm just going to do that real quick. All right, and let's go to the next one. The questions on it are relatively simple. Here's the one I like, and I always talk about this, and I have used the cell phone analogy about my wife being in an accident, and all right, so my wife knows that I do this, and she's okay with it. So, and nothing has happened to her. She's not been in an accident. But I always say that it's the equivalent of, where's my cell phone? Of my best friend or somebody who knows me well, who happens to have my number, gives me a call in the middle of class and said, hey, Ross, your wife was killed in an accident just now. How do you think I would react? What would my reaction be? It'll be terrible. I mean, I would freak out. I would just, probably not, well, yeah, I don't know. I would hate to imagine how, I imagine it quite because of this, but yeah, I'm not doing well now, just thinking about it. So more appropriately, it would be for someone to come into the door and say, hey, Coach Witt, we got someone here to monitor your class for you. We have some news for you. You have to go to the hospital. Your wife's been in an accident, and we'll have someone take you to the hospital or something if it's okay. I said, no, I'll drive. Is she okay? We don't know. We just know that she was taken to the hospital. That is a slant truth. It's a play on the truth, and I could probably handle that a lot more than I could handle being told the exact truth. So here's Emily Dickinson, tell all the truth but tell it slant. Tell all the truth but tell it slant. Success in circuit lies. Too bright for our infirm delight, the truth's superb surprise. As lightning to the children ease with explanation kind, the truth must dazzle gradually or every man be blind. So you see how it fits in there with my analogy? She uses the children with lightning. I mean, explain thunder to a 3-year-old, right? So, I mean, how do we do that to our children? You probably have ideas of it. Someone bowling or moving furniture, and like when you bowl and you have a strike, well, that's the lightning. As soon as you do it, you hear the rumble and you see this. Anyway, so just different things. People do that to children. But what about success in a circuit? Circuit is round, right? So, so around the truth lies a little bit of extra. So if I'm dancing around the truth, I'm kind of still saying the truth, but not the full truth. Remember the story with the cell phone and the people coming in, the accident type thing. I'm telling you partial truth. I'm giving you just a little bit. It's still the truth, but it's only a little bit. And there might be some little fluctuation in there. But that's what this one seems to be about. And but every man be blind. The truth must dazzle gradually, or every man be blind. That's a little bit harder to explain. If the truth were known to everyone, I think we would shut our eyes because it's too bright. We would just close our eyes and close. So closing our minds, closing our eyes to the truth, to the actual truth. Too many people would suffer. It's just an interesting way to look at that. The fourth one, and I only have two more, apparently with no surprise. And this is just kind of her playing, maybe it's a complaint about how nature goes, or maybe it's just, hey, this is how it is, and there it goes. So notice the capital letters, flower, frost, assassin, sun, approving God. So that's important. Usually when she does the capital letters, it's for character. You know, she's making these a character. The flower is a character. Frost is a character. Assassin is a character. The assassin is also the frost. So, and God is a character. And I'll get to the A in just a minute in approving. But apparently with no surprise to any happy flower, the frost beheads it at its play in accidental power. The blond assassin passes on, the sun proceeds unmoved to measure off another day for an approving God. Okay, so this is really her just noticing what's going on outside her window. Beautiful flowers, frost comes at night, flowers are dead. So I don't think she necessarily likes this. I don't think she, you know how people can sometimes go when bad things happen, like, God, why is this happening to me? You hear that. I mean, that's a cliche, right? So I'm not saying that that's what she's doing, but I'm not sure she approves of the process. But I mean, there's another way to look at it too. She probably does. She's just saying this is the process. I just kind of see it like people. She calls the frost an assassin, and that's why I think she doesn't approve. I mean, she also says the frost beheads the flower. That's kind of a harsh word if she's just saying what nature does. She also says the sun proceeds unmoved. Let's change proceeds real quick. What is proceed? Keep moving, right? So the sun keeps moving unmoved. It's an oxymoron. It's just like, what? I don't get that. Well, we know that the sun goes across the sky, you know, from the east to the west, and sets east to the west. I mean, it's just a continual cycle. The sun doesn't even pause. The sun just sees what's happening. The sun doesn't pause, but it keeps moving. So that's a physical way to look at it. It doesn't mean that the sun disapproves. The sun is part of this, actually, you know, because the frost is gone too. And then to measure off another day for an approving God. So she puts the A in here to, I think, accentuate, hey, all this beheading and assassin and doing things to the delicate thing like the flower is done for an approving God. I think it's like a highlight. It's almost like putting a bold letter on approving God. So it's like trying to make that stand out. That adjective, you're going to call it an adjective. So, but it's very, very unique. All right, so the last one, success is counted sweetest. So, and I'll just read it first and then just give you a couple of thoughts on it and then let you work. Success is counted sweetest by those who ne'er succeed. To comprehend a nectar requires sorest need. Not one of all the purple host who took the flag that day can tell the definition so clear of victory than, or as he defeated, dying, on whose forbidden ear the distant strains of triumph burst agonized and clear. The easiest way I used to explain this is that you have two teams. One continually wins a championship and one almost gets there. And they get to get the second place. Ricky Bobby, if you're not first, you're last, right? So that is the type of attitude that I took with this for the longest time. But it's not that way. I mean, isn't it true though? I mean, if you never win, you're like, oh, it must be so great to win. It must be so great. Take the lottery. If you're always playing the lottery and you never win the lottery, you see all these other lottery people and say, man, that's got to be so great. That's got to be so great. So success is counted sweetest by those who ne'er succeed, right? Because I think winning the lottery will be just, oh my goodness, that's got to be so great. But there's other people who will say that winning the lottery is like, man, it's like a curse. I got family members coming up from I got my fourth cousin removed from the third cousin stuff coming up and going and say, hey, look, can I get a handout? Or I getting so bogged down, a lot of people, lottery winners go broke. I mean, truth be told. So anyway, but it's really true. We define our victory, or the victory is better for those who can't grasp it. That's how I used to define it. But then in this poem, there's this not one of all the purple host. Who gets a purple heart in war? The injured, the people who have been shot, even the friendly, even the ones who win. So think about that. So both sides, okay, so the enemy doesn't, we have the purple heart. That's our award. Purple does mean wounded, at least in this poem. But not one of all the purple host. Host is, who took that flag? Who won? The hosts are the people who won. So not one of all the injured, wounded host who took the flag today can tell the definition so clear of victory as he defeated. So here's one of the hosts, here's one of the purple hosts who is dying, who can't celebrate, who can't relish in that victory. Wow, I was a part of that and I can't get there. How much that, so he counts that as the sweetest. The ones who are alive and maybe injured and still celebrating, that's pretty good, but that goes away. The one who never reaches it could also be the one of the, actually, this is one of the hosts. It doesn't have to be the enemy. All right, so that's all I've got. I want you to just kind of look through that, read through that, answer the questions very quickly, or not quickly, but I'll get back to you. I'll go over this. We'll do it, pick it up on the next week, and because today's Friday. Rest of the period, I want you guys to catch up on stuff. I want you to do this if you're caught up, but work on your work, and that's all I got. Oh, wait a minute. One more thing. Because I'm on video, and this is a YouTube thing that's going to be put up on the screen. Have a great weekend. Those of you who are not coming back and seeing me until after spring break, when we are A/B no more, have a great weekend. Have a great weekend. Have a good spring break. Don't do stupid things. Be smart if you do go out there. I was going to say be smart if you do stupid things, but then that's kind of like, you can't say that, right? So take care of yourself, and we'll see you after spring break.